The announcement many had expected from Chinese state TV news early on Friday. Beijing responding to Donald Trump's new tariff levies in kind, adding a 34% tariff on all US imports from April the 10th and cutting access to critical minerals vital to modern technology. These the next steps already being taken in the global trade war, and China seeking consultation with the World Trade Organization over what it called bullying.
The spokesperson of the Ministry of Commerce announced today that the United States' imposition of so-called reciprocal tariffs seriously violated the rules of the WTO and seriously damaged the legitimate rights and interests of WTO members.
The US president, speaking on Air Force One, seemed unfazed about the chaos he unleashed on Wednesday night, adding that other countries had already been calling Washington, looking to negotiate.
That's the beauty of what we do. We put ourselves in the driver's seat. If we would have asked some of these countries, almost most of these countries, to do us a favor, they would have said, no, now they'll do anything for us. But we have tariffs, they've been set, and it's going to make our country very rich.
The moves have rollicked global markets, but slides in prices across the world have failed to move Trump from the steps he said were needed to heal the US economy. His diagnosis will now be tested. Across Europe, there have been growing calls for a robust response by the EU to the tariffs. France's Minister of Trade on Friday met with wine growers in the country's champagne-growing region, one of the EU sectors thought likely to be hit hardest by Trump's levies.
If there is to be a European response, it must be proportionate, one that protects our industries and does not cause more harm than what has already been imposed by the administration and the American president.
Others in Europe, however, have urged restraint and focus not on a response, but rather the removal of the new tariffs.
At the Italian and European levels, we must open a dialogue in a negotiation that must be opened with the United States to seek solutions. Where do I think the negotiation should go? Towards removing all tariffs, not multiplying them. After that, these negotiations are done in two.
Other countries have already said they will not respond. South Africa announced on Friday no immediate plans to introduce reciprocal levies on US exports. Instead, it will focus on negotiating exemptions and quota agreements, according to senior government officials. Similar sentiments have been expressed too by the UK. British Foreign Minister David Lammy in Brussels for a NATO meeting said that London was engaged in discussions over an economic deal. Trump claimed overnight on Thursday that the UK was among those happy about its tariff treatment. For most, however, it is hard to believe that the US president's actions have made the rest of the world a happier place. Joel Flynn, TRT World.